Okay, great. Okay, so good morning, LinkedIn. I can see you there. Good morning, Facebook. I can see you here. Sorry, I forgot my stand, so I need to hold it. But I didn't want to neglect any of you, so we make a plan here. Great. So, what are we doing today? Today's webinar will be about how to draft a business plan so that you are able to apply for funding. And yes, okay, so if you can hear and see me, just either way give me a thumbs up or just write in the comments. That would be absolutely lovely. I see a couple of people are hopping on there already on Facebook. That is great. And I also see some on LinkedIn. So you always can ask me questions. Just write in the comments on LinkedIn and Facebook. I can see both and I will be able then to answer them. What do we start with? Maybe just again an introduction. Okay, so Tumelo, hello, Randy, I'm watching. Kaylee, good morning. Yes, good morning. Great. So my name is Dagmar Breiling-Marie. I'm the founder of Funding Connection. And what do? We assist companies accessing loans and grants. We do that via advice, drafting business plans, and also the support to apply for funding, filling out the forms, making sure everything is according to the financiers. That's definitely our strength. We draft, I think, minimum 30, sometimes even 50 business plans a month with our team. And we also do applications and submit definitely on a weekly basis to all the different financiers. That means we know exactly what they want to see. We know exactly when they change a little bit their rules or their requirements. And we are able then to share this most of the time critical information, of course, with our clients. Okay. Sorry, without glasses, I'm really challenged to read you. Zawak. I hope Mr. or Mrs. Kumalu. I think that's easier for me. Good morning, Lola. Good morning. Great. Okay, so, what we also do is I want that everybody knows exactly what is available, what is required. I know not everybody is able to afford a business plan consultant, and I want you just to be aware of what is really required, what you need to think about, so that you can do the majority of the work on your own. Okay. I remember when I've done my first business plans, that is, I don't know, must I really say that, over 20 years ago? Yes, it's really, really long ago. And it was, of course, in German. I had German templates, and I was more confused, really, than anything else, because I didn't really understand what they wanted. I always thought, you're asking the same questions again and again and again, and only later on, after I also had then some feedbacks from financiers at that time in Germany, I really, really understood what they want to see in a business plan and why. Because as soon as you understand why, it makes your life so much easier. Yeah. And the business plans we are drafting are definitely international standard, even if you want to apply with commercial banks, or if you want to apply with international financiers for bigger projects. What I'm sharing here with you is definitely sufficient enough for you. Yeah. Okay, so Nkosi. Yes, we can also. I'm trying always to get here the questions. Yes, we're also able to help you with pricing, also with pricing for tenders. That's not a problem. Please give us time for that. Yeah, it's nothing we can do in 24 hours. being properly, doing pricing properly will definitely take easily a week. Give yourself the time, take this serious. That's big business, usually 10 days. You don't want to rush it. The same thing with the business plan, yeah? Put effort into it. Don't think you can quickly do that on a weekend. Let me promise you, if you haven't done a business plan before, you will not be able to do that on a weekend. If you are already trading existing business, you just want to expand, maybe it's possible, yeah? I personally, I hate to rush. I always like to write a business plan and then go through this minimum a day later, just to double check. Did I forget anything? Does the message come across? Is everything really properly done? Brent, Tumelo, yes, Brent is working for us. Yes, he is also on the other side on Facebook and is answering Facebooks. Okay. Great. Oh, you know that Brent is working for us. That's great. Okay. So let's start with the business plan. Let's concentrate here. Sorry, I'm absolutely tired. I had a crazy week and I always try to really make sure that I get all the information, even from abroad. I attended a 3-day seminar. It was their time, of course, in the US, not our time. So I was working from 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. the last 3 nights. So for me, it feels like it's in the middle of the night. But I know a little bit about business plans. I'm sure I can pull this off. Okay, so a business plan, starting a business also, or an expansion, is always like a big puzzle. Yeah, so you usually, specifically as a startup, you usually have an idea about the small little puzzle parts, most of them, but what you are not aware of, that they of course need to fit together. Yeah, and that is something what you need to show in the business plan, that you have a good idea. I give you an example just for you to understand, okay? So I see sometimes business plans, and when we do the reviews, or somebody says, please help us to apply for funding with it. And then in the written part, it says, we create 100 new jobs. Then I have a look at the Excel spreadsheet, and then they say monthly expenses for salary and wages, 100,000 Rand a month. So they pay 1,000 Rand per person per month. Definitely not going to work. Okay, so there's already a problem. Then I have a look and see at their location. Okay, and they say, oh yes, we want to rent a place 100 square meters. How do you want to put 100 people into 100 square meters? It's not possible. Yeah, and this is critical. So this is why you need to take your time, really, really understand everything, and put enough effort and love, into this business plan. Don't rush it. And the challenge is, the biggest challenge is, and that's absolutely normal, that you draft a business plan, you get around, and then you say, no, so if you want to apply for this fund, we need now to have 100 people employed. So let's just write that on the one part in the business plan. And then that's how these mistakes are happening. Okay. And then they see, yes, but they forgot that they need now to have a bigger property to rent. And then they, of course, forgot to change that the salaries and wages are also going up dramatically. Yeah. This is how these mistakes are happening. So because it's usually a little bit of a longer process, people are changing on one part of the plan, and then they have a problem and forget to amend it accordingly on other sides. But that also shows that you don't know how your puzzle parts need to fit together. Yeah. So what do financiers want to see in a business plan? Thanks for all the thumbs up. I enjoy that. What is the name of the company they pay 90% funding for business plans? I have no idea. So yes, research is definitely also absolutely important. Yeah. So let's start with the beginning. Usually you have the executive summary. I always recommend do that at the end. Yeah, because you don't know what you summarize if you haven't done all the numbers before. Financier usually what they want to see is, they want to see where are you at the moment, okay? Which phase of your business are you? If you are trading, tell them we are in business for 5 years. Our last yearly sales was, let's say, 5 million rand. And we want to grow further, and to be able to do that, we need to buy new equipment if it's a manufacturer. And this is the specific equipment we want, so you need quotes, and this machine will now increase our production from, I don't know, 10,000 units a day to 20,000 units a day. Yeah. So that means this is absolutely important that the financier really understands it. So then you of course also need to talk about who is the applicant, is something what we do quite in the beginning. Yeah, so is it a PTY, is it a CC, who are the shareholders? And the CVs, I usually always recommend have them separately. We have later on in our business plans under management and staff definitely a short little description why the applicant is qualified to do this. You know, I'm always joking. So if I would go to a land bank and ask for a loan to grow tomatoes, they will ask me, what is your experience? I will say nothing. All my plants are always dying. It's not going to work for me. Yeah. So I'm not patient enough. I don't have the knowledge, you know, and tomatoes are really, really difficult. It's not easy. So the only thing is what I see is, oops, now they are dead. I can't even see that there is a problem in between. An experienced farmer would see that, oops, they have some fungus, let's spray. You know, so for me, I can't see that because I don't have the expertise and the skill set to do that. Would I be able to manage that? Yes, but I definitely would need to have somebody in this specific field, like a farm manager, and I need to have somebody really experienced. The other question is, of course, if you want to set up your business like this, do you really want to rely on somebody else's expertise? Yeah, I wouldn't even know if I hire somebody who says I'm an experienced farm manager, if he is really. How do I check? I'm clueless in this regards. Yeah, so that is why it's so important. You need to have the expertise. You need to have the skill set. Whatever you want to offer, to convince a financier that they say, okay, they know what they are doing. You don't need to be perfect, okay? So don't put the bar too high. That's not what is expected. But you definitely need to have some expertise. The next part is definitely important. Describe your products, you know? So, and this part of is definitely okay, so we want to produce toilet papers. I just make it easy. Okay, so 2-ply, 1-ply recycled paper, so they have 3 or 4 different products. Okay, so and then they need to say, okay, and this is the equipment we buy. This equipment has the capacity to manufacture 10,000 rolls a day. And then we just separate that, I don't know, 5,000 recycled, 2,500 1-ply, and 2,500 virgin 2-ply. Yeah. Okay. So I see there are lots of questions coming in. Let me do that I do that at the end, because otherwise we are always interrupted. Yeah, so put them in there. I promise you I will afterwards go into it and just answer them. Okay, so the production, the equipment you need to explain, your product you need to explain, your price you need to explain, your costing you need to explain. I've seen business plans, you know, and then there are, why is it on the other side? Let me just quickly, I pressed the wrong button. Facebook, now you can see me again. You saw my fridge. I thought, what's happening there? Okay, so I've seen lots of business plans when they say, oh, we assume we make 2 million rand sales per month. But they don't say how many units they think they can sell. They don't say how much one unit will cost, will be sold to. Okay, so I don't know. I think toilet paper is usually sold for 1 rand and 50 or 2 rand or something like this. And they don't explain clearly what is the cost to produce this one roll. Yeah. And if you don't have this, how can you do a financial forecast? You know, I've seen business plans when they say, oh yes, we make 2 million rand a month. And when I said, okay, so how much is a unit? A unit is 1 rand. I said, okay, so where do you get the 1 million rand subscribers? Oops. Oops. Okay. This is why it is so important to really dig deep. Take your time. Yeah. Okay. So next, toilet, so product, services, pricing, the location is important, you know, so you want to, please in the beginning, try to lease property, don't buy. Don't invest in brick and mortar. Okay, invest in something what really gives you sales. Later on, if your company is flying, I have no problem, take some money and say, okay, we're paying that much rent. We are established, we know that we can get a bond for over 10 years and we will be able to repay it. Yeah, don't put yourself under too much pressure. So then we have product and services. We talked about it. The next part is market research. Okay, you need to have a look. Who will be your target market? Who is your ideal client? Yeah. As a manufacturer, usually please sell to wholesalers, please sell to retailers. Don't try to really sell one-on-one to end users. You can't sell 20,000 units of toilet paper to your community and everybody comes and visits you. Yeah, it is too expensive and it will not work for every single day. And it gives you also the beautiful opportunity to get some offtake agreements from other businesses. Yeah. Make sure if you want to start your business that this is really, really, really a strong contender. You don't risk anything and you will not fail. Yeah. Because you sign for the loan, you will be responsible, you will need to repay it. Yeah. So this is why it is so absolutely important that you are 150% sure that this is going to work. Yeah. So that means have a look at the market. Who are your ideal customers? If you are B2B, business to business set up, go to your potential clients, ask for offtake agreements. If you do retail or hospitality or something like this, your customers are end users, you need to have a feasibility study. Okay, in my area, are there enough people? They want to buy whatever I want to offer. They have the money. You also need to have a look at the competitors. Who else is in the market? What are they doing? What are they offering? Are they offering it to be delivered? Is it, do people need to pick it up? What are the prices? What are the payment terms? Get this information. It makes it so much easier. You need to know your competitors. Yeah. And that's something what I always recommend is don't do that only in the beginning. We do that here on I do that on a yearly basis. You know, in between I just think, okay, let me just have a look what's happening around me. What are they doing? And I'm not only checking South Africa, I always also go abroad and see what they are doing. Yeah. Okay, so then we have the market, industry analysis, that's a research, target market analysis is a research, competitor analysis is a research. One of you mentioned that before. Yeah. So that is really important. Take the time, go out there, and most of it you can do on your own. Yeah. And what else? The next part is definitely, yes, your staff. How many staff do you need? What do they need to know? What do they need to be able to do? What else? How much do you want to pay them? Are these skills available? And if you are a startup, please find people they know what they are doing. You don't have the time and can take the risk that you can let me hire people and then teach them for half a year. Yeah. You don't, and most of the time you can't even teach people. You can teach people, maybe that's a German one, what comes through here. Okay. You can teach people, okay, this is how you do things. That's not a problem. And most of the time, if it's easy, you can teach that quite quickly. The trouble is always what happens if something doesn't go to plan, and this only comes with experience. And it's nothing for most jobs what you can just quickly explain somebody in 5 minutes or in a couple of days. Yeah. Then, of course, you need to show who's the management team, who will manage this. If it's a bigger venture, who's the production manager, who's the sales manager, who will be the CFO, who's responsible for the finances, So even if you do business plans for smaller setups, I always highly recommend have an admin person with experience in bookkeeping so that most entrepreneurs don't really enjoy this part, but somebody is taking good care of it. Yeah. Because if you don't, then you are getting in trouble. Then you have the challenge with invoices don't get out on time. Nobody is following up. And oops, at the end of the month, then there is no money in your bank to be able to pay for staff, rent, and everything else. Yeah. So you as a business owner are always in control. It's always your responsibility. Yeah. But you always can have then people delegate. You just need to make sure that they do their job properly. Have a meeting with them once a week. Just see what's happening, how many invoices are out, what payments came in. Can even do that daily in the beginning. So that you are always on the pulse, you always definitely know exactly what's happening. And if you see after 1 week in the month, oops, our sales drop dramatically, you have 3 weeks to figure out how to pick it up instead of at the end of the month. And I see that lots of times here in South Africa, at the end of the year, people figure out, oops, we didn't earn any money. You should know this at each and every given day. Yeah. Okay, so what do we have? So we have executive summary, we write that at the end. We talk about the applicant, the shareholders, the business owner, the product and services you offer, including pricing, location, equipment needed, supplier. Then you do some market research. Under this market research, we have target market, industry analysis if required, your competitors, and then of course your clients, your offtake agreements you have. The next part is then staff and management, and then the next part is really financial forecast. Yeah. And the numbers you say in the business plan need to reflect in the financial forecast. And so, like I said, you can't have 100 people working on 100 square meters and earning 100,000 Rand a month. So each and every one earns only 1,000 Rand. That's not possible. You will not be able to raise any funding for a venture like this. Yeah. Okay, so what I would do is, if you want to do that on your own, go to any of the government institutions where you want to apply for, have a look if you really qualify for it. Most of them have even a small little template where they say, this is what we need from you, this information. It will help you a little bit and guide you, and then be as precise as possible. Don't say, I don't know now, I will figure that out after I have the money. That's not going to happen. Yeah? Okay, so let me just see. There are some questions on LinkedIn. Let me just start with this. Andila. I need your help to putting together a firm business plan. Andila, that's not a problem. Please just do me a favor and contact me on LinkedIn. Yes, because you're on LinkedIn. I'm checking once a day my LinkedIn account. Yeah, sometimes twice, but usually once a day, and then I will be able to come back to you. A film business plan is Chinese to me. I know exactly what you mean. It's not a straight cut document about selling fruits. It's a grant. I'm actually gunning for, remember, this is my first documentary film. I'm definitely steering away from loans for now. Okay, Andile. Yes, contact me. I will guide you, and then let me see where you are, what you really want to do, what's the grant you want to apply for, so that we definitely can make sure the business plan is accordingly. So let me just see here. Mzavek Kumalo, what is the name of the company that pay 90% funding for business plans? I'm sure what you mean, 90% funding for the loan, not for the business plan. So NEF does that, CIFA does that. We usually recommend to have a minimum of 10% collateral to increase your chances dramatically to raise funding. Both of them said now after COVID, they definitely will have a look also at 100% funding. Yes, but if you have 10%, even better, show that. Sydney says, hi. Once I have confirmation letter for franchise. Okay, so if you have a franchise confirmation letter, contact us. If you're on Facebook, you can definitely contact us via Messenger. Brent is on the other side, and he will just guide you and see how much funding. We will have a look how much funding you need, which franchise it is, if there is funding available for this specific franchise. Financiers like to only work with franchisees who are already minimum 2 years in business and have a proven track record that this is working. Yeah. No, Zipo, I see your subject is about the business plan. I would like to know how much can your company charge me to assist in an application for a franchise application to get funding from government, like Nando's. Okay, so we always do that. We like to pick you up where you are stuck. Okay, so if you want to apply for franchise funding, you usually need to have, number one, some sort of approval from the financier, from the franchisee, so franchisor, sorry. You see, I'm tired. And then you need a business plan. I'm not too sure if they have a business plan. And then we just guide you. We can charge for a business plan. You can have a look at our website. The smallest one is 7,935. For up to 1 million, up to 5 million is 13,900. Up to 10 million is 24,000, I think. And if it's over 10 million, we just need to have a look how complex your setup is. How much research do we need to do? How much details do we need to capture in this business plan so that the franchise, that the financier can say yes. Yeah. Like I said before, Nuzipo, send via Messenger, get in contact with Brent. He is definitely awake and there. I saw him in the office this morning, and then he will ask you the right question and guide you. Yolanda, good morning. To Melo, can your organization assist a startup with funding? Okay, Tumelo, just for you again to you're I'm advertising my room. No, I don't want to rent out my room. I love my place. Okay, sorry, Tomelo, I'll come back to you now. We don't assist with funds, okay? We are a private consulting firm and we assist companies to access funds via consultation, give lots of free information out. We know exactly what the financiers are financing. We know exactly what the financiers need and want to see in your application and in your business plan. So we can draft business plans and then also support with the whole application process, filling out forms, compiling documentations. And I know that lots of people are scared of it. I've done the same thing in Germany, so it's nothing typical here for South Africa. There are some people, they love filling out forms. They are a little bit OCD. And that is what you need to be. If you are a little bit more creative and your handwriting is like mine, then maybe it's a good idea to just find somebody else who does that for you. Yeah? Okay, please check my business plan. We will definitely do that. Next one. Do you support business in the tourism industry, like in starting a hotel and conference center? Putumi. Okay, so like I said, we don't give out funds. I know that NEF at the moment shies a little bit away from the tourism industry, and the reason is because, let's be honest, nobody knows what's happening with COVID. Do we really know when we are able to normally travel again, when international guests are coming back here? So if I would be in your shoes, you want to start something at the moment, I would not recommend to do that. Yeah? To be in this industry. Find something else at the moment if you know life goes on like normal. And then you can do that. Oh, you can do a financial forecast with a startup. Okay, that is absolutely not a problem. So number one is, like I said, you need to know your pricing, your costing, you need to know how many staff you need to know exactly how much do you need to pay them so that they stay with you. You don't want to, so, and there's lots of information out there you can get. You know exactly how much the equipment is. The manufacturer usually lets you know how much electricity this equipment needs for running 8 hours. So you can do these things. Business plan from franchisor was declined and they asked me for a standard business plan. Okay. Yes. Mzawake. I'm sure I pronounced that code totally incorrect. So please email us the plan you have already. Okay, say it was declined. It's the one from the franchisor. The problem is from the franchisor is you need to tailor-made it to your location and to you. Yeah. So that is maybe just need to amend it. I'm not too sure. Like I said, I like to pick you up where you are. Makes no sense for us to start to draft a new business plan when the basic one is okay and it just needs to have some additional information. Yeah. Okay, Tiboho. I also think it's just good practice to have a business plan even before you're looking for funding. This makes it a lot easier once you get to that stage of seeking funding. Use the business plan, lovely advice, to guide you in the running of your business. Yes. Yeah. So you have a plan, you have a financial forecast, and then I know the first couple of months are hectic if you start a business, but in between have a look, are we on target? Yeah. So I assumed first month we are selling 10,000 units, second month we are selling 15,000 units. Where are we? Maybe you're selling 20,000. You say, oh, okay, we're growing faster than expected. Is everything still in order? So, or you are only at 2,000 units in the second month, you expected 15,000 units. Now you see, there's a problem. Let's tackle it. What is the problem? Yeah. So most entrepreneurs and business owners are too much involved in the day-to-day business. As a business owner, your job is to make sure that everything runs smoothly. That means delegating. Yeah, that's why you usually have staff and checking on staff, not being the one who repairs the machines, not being the one who handles the machines, not being the one to write invoices. You need to make sure that everything is working like a conductor, you know. So he creates the music, but he's not playing any instrument, you know, because he's just double checking that everything does their job. And your job is then also to see, okay, now we need to get more sales. Where's the problem? What didn't work? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Is the printing and photocopying startup a good business venture? It always depends on, there's usually high competitions. Profit margins are quite small, so you need to think about what is really the special, it's called unique selling point, you know. What are you really good at? What is what you need to, what you can offer? And then go out there, see if you find customers. The problem is these machines are quite expensive, so your capital expenditure is quite high, and these machines need to run, I don't know, 8 to 10 hours a day to be able to be profitable. Yeah, I usually don't like to say don't go into a specific industry. I'm just doing it now here with the tourism industry because COVID really messed that one up, you know. Everything else, you know what, in all industries there are people out there that are thriving, they're really profitable, and there are people out there struggling, you know. It always depends on how you set that up. Marvin, can I email you my business plan? Yes, you can contact Brent. He will give you the email address. Caitlin, one of my project managers, will do the review for you and will be able also to advise what is the next step. Mamelo, so glad I attended this webinar. You make it sound doable, like funding is actually possible if you have a good idea and plan to execute. Yes, that's what I want to communicate, okay? It's not an easy ride. That's not what I say. And you need to put effort into it, you know? So effort and love is nothing what you can just quickly, I hate this word, let me quickly do that. Now all my hairs are standing up. That means you don't want to put any effort into it. But it's not impossible. It is possible. There's funding out there. Government institutions finance things. So yes, that is what I like to communicate. Again, if you're on LinkedIn, you can contact me on LinkedIn via Messenger. I'm checking once a day. If you are on Facebook, Brent is on the other side, able to answer all your messengers and guide you also in the right direction in our organization. Okay, so I wish you an absolutely successful new week. We will see us again on next, definitely latest next Monday. I have no idea what Caitlin came up with, what we are talking about, but you will see that on our event pages on Facebook and LinkedIn. We send out newsletter with reminders about this webinar. So, and then we see us next week. All the best. Enjoy the rest of your day. And yes, get started. Get started. Yeah? Okay. Gugu, sorry. I always find your webinars informative. Thank you. I have 2 business ideas. One is starting events company and the other is photography. When I'm compiling a business plan, can I incorporate both into one business plan? No, don't do that. Separate things, because otherwise you are getting mixed up by what is profitable, what is not profitable. Do a quick and dirty check on costing, pricing, profitability, and then decide for one. Nosizwa, Was it declined by a funder, so they don't want a franchisor's business plan? They want no. They want your own? No. The franchisor is usually it's a template. There's no information about the new location. Okay, there's no information about the applicant, and that's critical. That is what's usually missing. Yeah, that's why I said before, let me have a look at the existing one. We will have a look what's missing, and then maybe we just need to add a couple of information. Because standard business template for business in Johannesburg for Nandu there, and it is not the same than a franchise here in, like I said, the one is in Nandu in Sandton, and the other one is Durban in West Street, in the middle of town. It is different. Yeah, there needs to be some more details. Yes, we can do proposals. That's absolutely not a problem. Contact us via Messenger. Anne said, my name is Dagmar. I'm not Anne. Anne is one of my team members. I'm sure you talked to Anne already a couple of times. Okay. So send it to us. We'll have a look at it, okay, and see where we can add on. I don't want to do a new business plan for you. Maybe we just need to add information. That's what I assume. Yeah. Okay. So bye LinkedIn. Take good care and broadcast, and bye Facebook. Contact us if you have any other questions. It can be t-shirt printing company, can be profitable, can also be a mess. It depends on who you want to target and how strong your sales skills are. Yeah. Okay. Take good care. See you next week. Bye.